Welcome back to the John Mendola Show, 1023 here. And, of course, join us online. It is the JohnMendolaShow.com. Follow us on Twitter, at John Mendola Show. Subscribe to us, of course, on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. So you got a lot of options. Wilkes University football today live on the John Mendola Show on YouTube today. Tom Ferguson will have the call as they head down to Lebanon Valley. Well, we're going to talk some more football. Lake Lehman football coach Jerry Gilsky is with us right now. And, Coach, welcome into the show.
Hey, John. Thanks for the opportunity. How are you doing?
Doing pretty well. Congratulations. A nice win against the Meyers Mohawks last night up on the black turf. So tell us about last night's game.
You know, I think, for the past two games, our team responded well, especially the devastating loss we had against Western Wayne with the 4 turnovers, and, you fumbled the ball into one, and they pretty much handled us up front. And just to give credit to these guys for the past 2 weeks, they wanted to be challenged, especially after that loss against Western Wayne physically. And, the one thing Coach said, from Western Wayne was that, we were a very physical team, and I just didn't feel we were up to that standard, in that first loss. And then for the past 2 weeks, our guys were just being positive, allowing themselves to be coachable, and really polish up our game to the standard that we always have. And, give credit to the team as a whole, from JV guys to the varsity guys. They're responding well, and they're allowing themselves to be coachable players. And that's the luxury of coaching out Lake Lehman. We have wonderful kids that allow that situation,
One scrimmage the last couple years, and so you get your first game, as you say, hey, Western Wayne comes, they play some good football. Talk about, things sometimes could blow up after a week. Sometimes things is a little adjustment. What was the adjustment? Was it more so with the coaches, with the kids, or was it just, hey, guys, let's just play some football here. We play Lake Lehman football, we're going to be okay.
You know what? Yeah, it comes down to accountability from myself, down to coaches, down to players, down to everybody. And the one thing is you spend a lot of time on film work. Everyone always will say, well, having 2 scrimmages, they always use that excuse like, hey, it gets you to polish up after your first scrimmage. Well, the first scrimmage we had, there was mistakes that we expected, and most of the times before when we had 2 scrimmages, the second scrimmage, you'd be preparing for a week 1 game anyway. So if you look at the amount of time you lost that week, we do a lot of summer workouts. I don't use the second scrimmage as some coaches will use. I don't. I just think as a coach, you just coach a little differently. You prepare your kids a little bit more. And overall, the learning curve after 1 week, I showed them on film, say, hey, this is the reason why we lost. Why are we not doing this? We've been doing this all off season. We've been doing this all for, key acclimation and doubles. And all of a sudden now it's a flip of a switch and we're not doing this. So, it's all about being prepared and everything else like that, and getting your kids' mindset starts since day one in weight room right after your last game. So it's a lot of preparation. I think as a coach, you have to respond a little differently and prepare a little differently. That's all.
Coach, let's talk about the health of the Black Knights. Just talk with Mark Watson at Wallenpaupack. They get a big win against Delaware Valley, but they're a little nicked up. Where are you guys at after 3 weeks health-wise?
Very good. I would say we're about 95%. One of our backs, he tweaked his hamstring a little bit, but, with therapy pool and our training staff, Laura, she does an excellent job. Like 10 o'clock a.m., they come in right in for therapy. So I have to say we're about 95%. I'm very happy where we're at. Getting some advice from other coaches and stuff. We're doing a bit more work when it comes to weight room during season. And, for the past 2 years, we're getting more into the yoga and, plyometrics more so instead of just drilling and hitting and everything else like that. So I'm noticing a little bit of a change this year with that aspect, and changing our workout. So I'm having less and less of that. And I'm really seeing the results out of it right now. And, injuries are part of the game. It's going to happen during the year. But, when you look at 40 guys in our roster and we have a ton of talent on the team, I'm confident in our guys. And especially like the last 2 games, we're getting a lot of mix of guys in the game to keep guys fresh and healthy and everything else. So depth is key right now for us, especially when it comes to postseason. And we want to make sure we're as close to the 100% mark as we can.
We're talking with Jerry Gilsky, the head football coach at Lake Lehman here on the John Mendola Show. We're driven by McCarthy Tire Service. Coach, you talk about your guys, the weight room, the yoga, the plyometrics, the different things. Many years ago, coaches just say, hey, we're going to run suicides and gassers and do all these different things. It's a different type of athlete, different type of fitness regime. You feel like after 3 weeks, the cramping and different things. Where are you guys at with that type of stuff after the first 3 weeks there at Lake Lehman?
If we had cramping, I think it's between one or two players. Cliff had a cramp, late in the third or fourth quarter for the past 2 weeks. So as a coach, you say, hey, what are we doing for meal prep and everything else like that before the game? So nutrition comes involved. Our club this year, in the past few years, we're preparing snacks before the games and stuff, all the nutritional needs that they need, between Gatorade and water and everything else like that. You always question coaches, how often do you give water breaks for your kids? Like this year we bought that water buffalo system, and I just drag it right behind the huddle to make sure they're getting water during practice, because you need that water in your body 3 days before the game to be ready. So, you tell your kids about nutrition and about packing, meals and food in your locker. Because sometimes you have that lunch at 10:30 in the morning, 11, and you don't have practice till 3 o'clock. Well, you need to replenish your body. It's a machine. And I'm getting more and more into that. I sit down, and I talk to Mr. McGovern and stuff about Penn State and what they do with their kids. And I'm learning more and more as I go instead of the old school regime and everything. So, I'm concentrating more on postseason, because let's just face it, I'm not tooting our horn or anything else like that, but we make it to the postseason, and usually the situation we have every year is injuries. So I think I changed our focus a little bit more to say, hey, listen, I need these kids to be ready for postseason and have their bodies ready to go, because we're always, seems like every year we're down 2 or 3 guys, and we're a little shortchanged in our main guys. I'm trying to keep them as healthy as long as I can.
Well, Coach, always known you to get to clinics and learn some things and always be open-minded about what you're doing there at Lake Lehman.
Absolutely.
You've had a lot of success. Hope it continues your way. The Black Knights are 2-1 and looking to build on that, and it's Carbondale area next week. Coach Gilsky, thanks for your time. Enjoy the day with the kids in the pool today, all right?
Absolutely. Thank you, John.
All right, you got it. Jerry Gilsky there hanging out with his kids and getting a little swim lessons today, and like a good father would, that's for sure. Well, we come back here on the John Mendola Show. We got some soccer to talk about, some more high school football. The Valley View football team victorious. I got a big one next week. We're going to talk with Coach George Hawanitz here on the show coming up very shortly. Also want to tell you some more locations. Pick up a copy of our football magazine. Want to thank AJ's Bar in Carbondale, Dr. Sean Casey in Pittston, Pocono Transportation, they're in Covington Township, Vincenzo's over in West Side, Arthur Albini Funeral Home, Bud Bustin's Pizza Heaven, Tommy's Pizza, Attorney Bob Elias, Casey's Barbershop, located down there on Cary Avenue, Michael Moots Candies, Luzerne Optical, and Sheehan's Pharmacy. We come back, we'll talk some soccer and some football. Let's head out now to our local State Farm insurance agent, Frank Sirokatch. Break like a good neighbor. Frank Sirokatch is there. We'll be back on WILK.